Yo, everybody, let's talk about Europe and Africa, their history. Deep, man deep, like way back. We're talking centuries of connection. Good times, not always. Bad times, plenty. See, Europe colonized much of Africa, took resources, changed cultures, the whole deal. It wasn't pretty, but that's the past, right? What about now? Today, things are different, kinda. Europe's not running Africa anymore, but their relationship is still a big deal. Why? Money, power, culture. Europe's got a lot of all three, and that affects Africa big time. All right, let's talk money. Europe puts a lot of it into Africa. We're talking billions of dollars in investments, roads, hospitals, schools, you name it. On the surface, it sounds great, right? Helping Africa develop, but hold up, there's always another side. Some people say these investments are just Europe looking out for itself. They say European companies come in, take resources, and use cheap labor. They make big profits, and Africa's left with scraps. Kind of like that friend who borrows money and never pays it back. Not cool. Then there's the issue of aid. Europe gives a lot of money to Africa as aid, but some argue it creates dependency. African countries rely on this money instead of building their own economies. It's like giving someone a fish instead of teaching them to fish. Let's talk business, people. Europe and Africa trade a lot, but is it a fair deal? Not always. See, Europe often dictates the terms. They want cheap raw materials from Africa, like oil, minerals, and cocoa beans. They then turn those materials into expensive products and sell them back to Africa. Talk about a raw deal. This system keeps many African countries stuck in a cycle of poverty. They're forced to sell their resources cheaply and then buy back finished goods at high prices. It's like going to a restaurant, selling them your ingredients for $1, and then buying a burger for $20. Makes no sense, right? Now, some argue that trade is good for Africa. It creates jobs and brings in foreign currency, and that's true to some extent, but the benefits are often unevenly distributed. Section 4, politicians and power Europe say in Africa's business. Politics, man, can't escape them, especially when it comes to Europe and Africa. See, Europe still has a lot of political influence in Africa. They use this influence to push their own agendas, sometimes at the expense of African interests. It's like that friend who always wants to control the music, even though it's your party. One way Europe exerts its influence is through foreign aid. They often attach conditions to their aid, forcing African countries to adopt certain policies. These policies might benefit Europe, but they don't always serve the best interests of the African people. It's like giving someone a gift, but then telling them how to use it. Not very cool, right? Then there's the issue of military intervention. European countries have a history of intervening in African conflicts, often under the guise of peacekeeping, but these interventions can sometimes make things worse. Section 5, from music to movies, Europe's mark on African culture. Let's switch gears and talk about something a little more fun culture. Europe's influence on African culture is undeniable. From music to fashion to language, you can see European traces everywhere. It's like that catchy pop song you can't get out of your head even though you don't understand the lyrics. European languages like English and French are widely spoken in Africa, a legacy of colonialism. While this can be helpful for communication and trade, it also means that local languages are sometimes marginalized. It's like going to a karaoke bar and only being allowed to sing in English. Not exactly fair to the other languages, right? European fashion trends also have a big impact on African style. From clothing to hairstyles, you can see European influences everywhere. While this can be a form of cultural exchange, it can also lead to a sense of cultural inferiority. It's like looking in the mirror and wishing you had different features. Not cool. Section 6, Africa's not a kid growing up and speaking out. Listen up, world. Africa is not a child anymore. It's not Europe's little sibling that needs to be told what to do. Africa is a continent of diverse cultures, rich history, and immense potential. It's time for Africa to take its rightful place on the global stage and be treated as an equal partner. One way Africa is asserting its independence is through its growing economy. African countries are experiencing rapid economic growth, fueled by a young population, abundant resources, and increasing investment. This economic empowerment is giving Africa a stronger voice on the world stage and allowing it to chart its own course. It's like finally getting your driver's license and being able to go wherever you want. Freedom Another way Africa is challenging the status quo is through its vibrant cultural scene. From music to fashion to film, African artists are making waves globally, showcasing the continent's creativity and dynamism. This cultural renaissance is changing the narrative about Africa. Section 7. The future is open. What's next for Europe and Africa? So what does the future hold for Europe and Africa? That's the million-dollar question, folks. The relationship is evolving, that's for sure. It's no longer about colonization or aid dependency. It's about partnership, mutual respect, and shared prosperity. It's like two old friends who are finally figuring out how to have a healthy, balanced relationship. One thing's for sure, Africa is on the rise. Its young population, growing economy, and vibrant culture are attracting attention from all corners of the globe. Europe recognizes this potential and is eager to engage with Africa as an equal partner. It's like two dancers on a stage, each bringing their unique style and energy to create something beautiful. But for this partnership to be successful, it needs to be based on mutual respect, fairness, and shared benefits. Europe needs to let go of its colonial baggage and engage with Africa on its own terms. Africa, in turn, needs to continue to strengthen its institutions, promote good governance, and invest in its people.